So there are going to be times that you guys need to start the generator and when I'm not here. So I want you to pay close attention. You might want to take a couple notes at some parts, but you should be able to, pause this, zoom in on stuff, try to make it as simple as possible. Ming, follow me. All right, so the first thing, can you flip the screen? First thing is that there's a possibility that you're just going to want to open the garage because it's so hot in here or whatever. Remember, to open the garage, you need to pull this, but you can't pull this, it's so tight. So you need to step and pull on this. Ming, are you showing this? Okay. And then, it's easiest if you go in the middle. Okay. So now, as far as where the stuff is going to be, so the generator should pretty much always be here, right here. This cord is important as well. It'll either be right on top of here or it'll be underneath this cover. I think I'm going to try and keep it underneath the cover. All right, so first thing is just pull this out. It's on wheels because you also need to get this thing right here, which is the frame for the tent. And if you just pull this straight out, it's not going to come out. Okay, so what you need to do is just bring the top out first, and then it'll fit. Okay, so this thing, everything that you need is right here, with the exception of the tools. Okay, so this should be pretty easy. Undo this bungee. There's going to be 2 pieces right here that come off. Then there's your top. That's what waterproofs it. 1 bungee here, another bungee here. This helps keep this thing in place. Okay, so you're going to want to set this up outside, always outside. You can never run a generator in the garage. And the way this works is that this piece right here, this is a nut, and this particular bolt is wider than the rest. I'm sorry about that. When I bought them at Home Depot, they ran out of the one size, so I had to get this other size. So there's a hole that this fits in. Put the washer on, then you can just hand tighten this for right now. Okay. I'm gonna go get those other pieces. Also important are the tools, okay? You're gonna need a drill. You're gonna need this drill, should be right here. You'll know it's the right one if it has this on it, right here. Notice this drill looks similar. It doesn't have that piece on it. Notice the difference, okay? If this battery is dead, so there should always be an extra battery right here. Okay, second drawer down, right here. I will have these, I didn't put this on because I didn't want it to be wet while I was working with it, but you see where it opens, it's going to be number 2 and number 3. You need both of these. They'll be red on them to let you know. And then you'll also need this piece right here. Okay? And you will also need this, will be right on top of here. You need this piece right here, which I will also color red with the nail polish. Okay? So those 4 pieces coming with me in my pocket. Pieces that fell from before. I've got my drill. I've got my 2 bungees. and I have my tarp. Okay. I forgot one more tool. This is in the top drawer. Me, come on, come over. Top drawer, set of pliers. This will just make it easier for you to put these pieces together. All right, so here are those 4 pieces. All right, notice that this piece does not work on that biggest one. It only works on this one. Okay, so put these together. The way that this works is you pull this out, push this in, then it's in. This grows here. This is the square part. Okay, so now I'm gonna finish putting this together. So there's a hole in this part over here has hinges, and then there's a hole through here and a hole through here. So these things, notice each one of these has 2 washers. One washer goes on top. One washer goes on the bottom. And then you'll take this and you'll start. You don't need to screw it all the way. That's what your drill is going to be for. Okay, so just hand tighten. Same thing over here. Again, one washer on the top, one on the bottom. And your nut. Okay. Over here, this is just to make sure that the whole thing doesn't collapse. There's another one of these exact same bolts with the nut, the wing nut, and 2 washers. So this one goes over here. All right, so this is what makes this really fast, okay? So there's 2 buttons on here. Button on this side, button on this side. There's an arrow on here. See that arrow? That arrow goes down, meaning if you were screwing something, you'd screw it down if it were pushed in, okay? This arrow comes up, which means if it were pushed in, you would screw something, it would come out. It would come out. It would loosen. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. So come over here. Remember, there's 2 different sizes. This one, and this one are all the smaller size. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to come over here. Get a good picture of this, Ming. Just grab the wing nut. Just grab one side of the wing nut. And then you know when it changes sounds that it's tight. Same thing over here. Okay. And then this one over here. Okay, and then remember we've got a different size. So for that one, I take the 2 pieces off and replace the 2 pieces with 1 piece. Square hole, square peg. Okay, this one's a little bit bigger. And remember, the wing nuts are slightly different sizes too, just in case you were to misplace any of this stuff. Okay, so it changed sounds, it's tight, it feels tight. Cool. So since we're gonna be bringing the generator in from this way, and we know that we're gonna eventually plug in here, we might as well get it all set up. Okay, now we've got our tarp. I'm actually gonna put the tarp on after we get the generator in. Follow me, Meg. Take this cover off. It's just an elastic band on the bottom. This is like the most expensive piece of machinery we have, so we try and protect it by keeping a cover on it at all times. Okay, you're not gonna wanna go this way because the wheels don't do well on the rocks. So, it's a little, it's heavy, but it's manageable. When you get to right here, you're gonna wanna lift it up a little bit. It's not super heavy. Just get two wheels on the ground. One side's a little bit heavier than the other. Just be careful with it. Okay. And so you know that you've got your controls over here. This is what we're going to be using to start it and all of that. So we'll just get this. And then our plug is going to come right here as well. So for right now, we'll do this. And lock our now. You do not need to do all of this setup with this and this if you know for sure it's not going to rain. If the hurricanes come through, it knocked out the power, and then we have a clear forecast, you don't need to go through doing all of this stuff with this and this. Okay, you can just bring the generator out. But you don't want to take chances if you think there's a possibility of it raining. All right, so there's a longer side and a shorter side. The longer side should go this way. Longer side this way, shorter side this way. Long, short. Okay? There's two different size bungees. Ideally, I would have had this blue one be a little bit shorter. But we'll use the red one on the wider side. You'll notice this side has an extra 2x4 going this way. This side's shorter. Okay, so red for the longer side. Try and even it out. You know, we're thinking about the rain, you know, coming from this way or that way, and then try and center it this way too. Your vent is over here. Come here, mate. Come here with the camera. This is where the hot air needs to vent, okay? You don't want to take this tarp and totally cover it like this. You want this side to be a little bit higher. Okay, so what I mean by that is on this side, we'll come down, we'll bring it down, what is that, like 6 inches? And over here, Ming, over here on this side, we're bringing it down maybe like 8 inches. It's a little bit more here, this distance. Okay, and again, looking at this length to this length, I want to bring this down a little bit, and that's good. Okay, and I'm going to take the bungee. For this one, for this side, because this bungee, and and someday I'll replace it so it's exactly the right size. But for right now, we need to wrap this a little bit. So what I do, come over here, May. I wrap this around the leg a couple times. You know, that's not going anywhere. The wind's not gonna take this away. You just wanna make sure it's pretty good, it's pretty tight. All right, so that's the tarp part. Now, as far as starting it goes, I just replaced the battery in this. So you probably will not need to pull on this. You probably just use the battery. In order to do that, pull the choke out. Open the fuel valve. You'll notice this has a little cross through the bottom of through the fuel tank. You want the fuel tank open. Then the key right now is all the way to off. You're going to want to turn it all the way to start. Now, once it's started, you're going to slowly push the choke back in. Push this button. Okay? Over here, in order to save on gas, we want this eco throttle button to be on. Okay? Now, over here, take this lock off, lift this up. You can actually put it on your head so you have both hands free. The most important part here is that you turn off the main and then you push this over. Okay? So that is then allowing the power to go in right here, which is what we're going to hook up here in a second. We also want to turn off the air conditioning units. So AH is air handling. So we're going to turn off this. They're doubles. So turn off this double, turn off this double, and turn off this double, because this doesn't provide enough power for the air conditioners to work. So now that we have the mini split in the TV room, that'll be the air conditioned space for right now. And so we would consider, you might consider figuring out a way to get comfortable in there for sleeping. All right, now, as for this, put these red things on here just to keep it nice and neat, since it's so important. And come over here. Notice that there's one of these four that has a special notch in it, okay? So you'll look to see where that special notch is over here. It's up top. You want to lock this in. So you shouldn't be able to just pull this off. You turn it to the right, clockwise, and then, oops. Makes it more difficult for you to just pull it out. Okay? Then, I'm going to plug this in to the generator. And again, you've got a special little notch right here on one of these three. So we will do that right here. And we'll turn it. And so right now, this is powering the house. So if I go inside right now, I should be able to turn, look at, this is working right here. So that tells me that we've got power. I'm just going to check the refrigerator. What we're going to do is just come over here and turn this off. And we'll take out our cords and we'll shut off the fuel. And we'll do exactly the opposite, but then say, you know, the power comes back on. Well, when the power comes back on, what you'll do is you'll push this back this way, and you'll turn the main on, and you could turn the air conditioning units on. Those three, right there. Then everything should be 100% back to normal. That's all.